I want to create a proper class. I want to create a proper class. Look at this requirement. It's very commonly implemented requirements. Wherever we have a opportunities or quotation or order, this requirement is very commonly implemented. Listen carefully. I am implementing a proper class. Let us say opti wrapper. In the opti wrapper, I am writing a public string name. Selective product name. Name of the product. Quantity. Public. Decimal. This one. I have created a opti wrapper class. Then I am creating opti line item. Here I have public list of opti wrapper. This format of requirement is very commonly used. Listen carefully. Then I am taking here public teaser row number. Public integer row number. So I have a constructor public up to line items. New list of public. Here I am giving a method public void add. Whenever I say add opti wrapper, I'm going to take a loop for teaser I equal to 1, I is less than 3. Opti wrapper. This is what I have done. Usually, let us give this. Let me implement here first. I am going to display this list of line items in the Visual Force page. This is a list of elements. List of elements I am trying to display in the Visual Force page. If you want to display list of items, how will you display? Page block table, data table, repeat all, data list. Any one you are going to use. Let's stop. Opportunity item. Where do you use the term called opportunity item? For every opportunity, you are going to have a group of opportunity line items. First, I want to print column number. I want to print a column number. If you want to print a column number, I'm taking here fx variable value equal to var equal to. I'm defining a variable value equal to I have defined a variable using Apex programming. Apex variable, the variable name is index, value equal to 0. I have created my own variable. Here I am printing the value. What is the value I am trying to print? Now once I printed the index, then again what should I do? I have to increment variable value equal to index plus 1. First let us see output we get. I have created a variable. In the column I am printing index. After printing the index, I am giving index equal to index plus 1. Now let us see the output here. What I am getting here? 0, 1, 2. Right? I am getting a index row numbers. I am getting a row numbers. Okay. So I am giving the value. I may go with 1. Okay. Next column I am giving Apex column. Next value equal a dot. Similarly, I am going with other quantity, unit price. I have given the format. What was called here? Name value equal to I give rough name Apex column header value. Now let us see the structure. Let us see the structure. Give font. Okay. Then I give price. Right. Let me go back this page. This is how we got. Now, if it is a single input text box, I used to require document dot get element by ID, page, form, page block like that we have given. But there are multiple rows here. In the multiple rows, if I click this, how do you recognize the row number of this? You have to know, when I click on this, you have to know, you have to refer to this. It's a group of elements. When there is a group of rows in the table, how to refer to a particular element? If it is a single element, we used to give document dot get element by ID, page, form, page block, okay, then page block table, section, section item, input text. But now it is a table. Group of rows are there. When the group of rows are there, how do you recognize the elements? When a group of elements are there, how to recognize a particular element? When a row of, like a group of rows are there, how to recognize a particular element? First understand this. Let us give. Block. We have page block table. Here no problem. Then for column we have a input header. For column we have an ID. Now the column will repeat number of times. Now I want to refer to the second row column, third row column, fourth row column. How do you get it? Right. How do you recognize? So I told whenever there is a change in the product name, on change. Whenever a change in the product name, I'm calling show the stored ID. Whenever there is a change in the product name, I'm calling a method called show or else. I'm calling Javascript on change. Whenever there is a change in the product name, call this on change. On change. So I'm giving script. I'm giving get function get row. First, let us print the row. You'll understand what we are getting. Whenever there is a change, get my ID. I'm trying to print my ID. I will preview. So the row on which I am changing, we will change the value. We are getting ID. If you look at the ID, look at the ID. What we got? What is the ID got? Page, form, page block table, one. When I click on the, I'm changing here. What is the ID? Now what is the ID we got? Page, form, PB, PPT, 2. So what is the change you are getting here? After the PPT, you are getting a row number, right? So what is the common here? In this case, only this row number is changing. Rest of the ID is same. Rest of the ID is same. Now we need to know how to get the row number. Similarly, the first row, if you are trying to refer to the quantity, how the quantity will come? Page, PB, PPT, 1. That row, quantity. From PB, PPT, 1. That row total. So, if you know the row number, that row I can refer to name, quantity, total, price, I can refer. If I know the row number, I can do it. But how the elements are separated again? Elements are separated by what? By using what? Colon they are separated. By using colon they are separated. So let me split the ID based on the colon. So this is what I am doing. Where row ID is equal to my ID dot split the ID based on colon. When you split the ID based on colon, where is your row number? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth element is your row number. Fourth element is your row number. Did you get my point here? We got an ID. The row on which I clicked, I got the ID of that row. From that ID, split it. When you split it, at the fourth position, you are finding the row number. Alert. Go back to this. What do we got? Are you getting the row number? Now, what was the functionality here? Once you enter the, whenever I change the product name, whatever the product I am going to enter here, whatever the product I am going to enter here, based on the product, get the unit price. Whenever I change the product number, whenever I call the product, automatically get what? Unit price. Based on the product what I entered, I need to get the unit price. Where is that unit price? Unit price is available in price book entry. How do you get the price book entry? Okay, which product? In which price book? Which product? In which price book? If you give price book entry will come. Price book entry is a combination of, is a junction of the between price, okay, price book and product. What is the price book? Now, price book entry is a junction between product to object. It is a junction object between these two. It is a junction object between these two. Price book, okay, product 2 and product 2. Price book. So first one should get what? Product, the based on the name, get the product ID. Based on the standard price book, get the ID. If you know the product ID, if you know the price book ID, then we can get the price book entry. What will be there in the price book entry? Unit price of the product, quantity, discount, all these things will be there in the price book entry. Are you getting my point here? Now let me give you, I have a products. There is a table called product table. The product table we have name of the product, is active, product fabric. In the price book, we have name of the price book. Is standard or not? Is it standard book or not? Is it standard price book or custom price book? Now, in the price book entry, which product, in which price book, unit price, we are going to have the font. So here I am going to have price books, corporate. These are the price books. Entries will be product A in the price book, corporate, the price of product A, the standard price book, product B, is a junction object. This junction object, obviously it's going to have many to many relations. It's going to have many to many relations. Are you getting my point here? So now what is it? If you know the product name, if you know the price book, I can get what is the unit price of it. If you know the product name, if you know the price book, in this price book, for this product, what is the unit price? This is what I have to get. Listen box, it's commonly implemented requirement, very commonly implemented requirement. Then I want to get it. Public, void. So, what is the primary thing that I have? Was whichever row I clicked on, which row I clicked, that row unit price should be auto-populated. If I enter the product name in the row number 1, the unit price has to be uploaded. If I click on the row number 2 unit price should be uploaded. Whichever the row on which I am entering the product name, the unit price of the product has to be implemented. Then how do you get this? So we need to pass row number to the Apex programming. How do you pass the row number to the Apex programming? Apex input, then value equal to if I assign the value to this, what happens? If I assign the value to this, what will happen? Automatically it is assigned to variable column. What I am doing here? Document dot get element by ID page form dot value equal to like this. So the value is assigned to the row. Right. So when I click on the row, when I click on any row, it goes to get row, get the row number, assign the row number to this way. When I assign the value data to this variable, when I assign the value to this variable. So what I am doing here is a list of elements, right? Line items are what? What you are displaying here? It's a list of elements. The list if I give index, will I get the element? In the list if I give index, I will get the element. I got a group of elements. In that, whichever the row on which I enter the product name, get the row. How do you get the row? Get the row. Once you got the row, a sample query. What is sample query? ID from where name equal to whatever the name you entered, get that name. Similarly, based on the name, get the ID of the product. Similarly, get the price book ID. Price book. Select ID from each standard equal to. Then I have to get price book entry. Select unit price from where product ID equal to dot ID and what happened? Based on the product name, based on the price book, we got the price book entry. Once we got the price book entry, then I set the value to OW dot price equal to dot was whatever the product name you entered, based on the product name, get the product ID, get the price book ID. Once you know the product ID and price book ID, is a price book entry is a junction object. Junction object between two parents. Now, write a sample query to get where name of the product equal to so and so, price book equal to so and so, get the value. I told you already here. How the values are stored here. If you know the product name, if you know the price book ID, we can get the value from price book entry. If you know the ID of the product, ID of the price book, ID of the product, ID of the price book. Okay, a product from corporate price book, get me the unit price. Right. Then look at the conflict. What I'm doing here now was whenever you change the value on change call this, then I'm going to perform look at the form. On change call this. But what happened? The moment I call this, automatically I have to call method. When the value of this is changed, we are calling a script. Once the script is completed, what should I do? I have to call a method. When you call the method, then only sample code will run. Am I right now? On change I call a JavaScript, but from the JavaScript what should happen? I have to call a method. From the JavaScript I have to call a method. How do you call a method from the JavaScript? Now, where is the calculation done, boss? Calculation is done in this method. Once you know the row number, what should I do? I have to call a method. How to call a method? From the JavaScript. Once the JavaScript is completed, I have to call a method. How to call the method? If you want to call any method from the JavaScript, we have to define apex action function. What was that called? Apex action function. Name is equal to fun. When you call this fun, I'm going to get now what they are saying was action function. Whenever you call this action function, which method is running? Get data method. What is the name of the action function? So here from JavaScript I can call action function. Action function will call method from the Apex class. So when the event occurs, call the JavaScript. JavaScript will run all the logic. Then the JavaScript is going to call a method from Apex class. If you want to call a method from Apex class, it has to be what? Action function. It has to be what? Action function. If you define an action function, it can be called from JavaScript. If it's an action function, we can call it from the JavaScript. So what is happening? Whenever the name of the product changes, automatically what is happening? JavaScript is called. Once the JavaScript is called, it is going to set the row number. Once the row number is set, what we are doing? calling a method called function. Fun. What is a fun? It is an action function. The action function means nothing but invoking a method from Apex class. Are you getting my point? So indirectly what we are doing? Invoking a method from Apex class. From script we are calling a function. That function is calling a method from Apex class. Go back, have a preview. Go to products. Some product. So what happened? When I enter we got the corresponding prices. When the product name is entered, automatically we are getting what? Automatically we are getting what? Why the serial numbers are increasing? Because I use a related concept. The serial number is increasing. Okay. I hope you are clear with this. Are you clear about this? Okay. Now what happened? When I enter the quantity, the total should be copied. Now, when the product name is entered, I am going to the next class, right? Getting the corresponding price, updating the price to the same row. In whichever row I enter the product name, the same row unit price is uploaded. Now, if I enter the quantity, automatically it has to calculate total. Automatically it has to calculate total. Are you getting? Whenever I enter the quantity, automatically it has to enter, automatically it has to calculate total. Are you getting my point? Right? So, look at this. I am writing one more script. Function. Calculate. Here, get the row. If you know the row number, if you want to calculate what are the values we require, quantity and price. How do you get the quantity? Dot get element age form block table plus row number. Whichever the row I am clicking, the row number. Whichever the row I am clicking, the row number. Similarly, price, same row. I told you already. If you know the row number, the same row, price. Then I want to calculate total. Then I'm going to give document dot so what is it? Whenever I call this, identify the row number on which you are entered the quantity, that row, quantity into that row. But what is the guarantee that both the values are entered? They may or may not be entered. What should I do? If quantity not equal to null and price not equal to null. When both the values are entered, when both of them are not equal to null, then you need to perform this. Then pass int of go back. Now what should I do? Come here. When this should run on change. Whenever the quantity is changed, check whether quantity name and price is same or not. Quantity is not getting calculated. Look at this page form. Not extended product. It is not working now. Is it not working now? No, you are not seeing anything in the structure, right? Come again? Extra function. This is the drawback of your Java. What is the drawback? It doesn't have any compiler. Right, boss? This calculation is this is a general format of this requirement will be a general requirement. Wherever there is a entering of customization of opportunity page, wherever there is a customization of opportunity page, wherever there is a customization of quotation item, this is a generalized requirement. Right? So the point is, previous example what we have done is only one element is there, we refer. But here we have a group of elements. When you have a group of elements, how to fetch the value of a particular element, that's based on row number. Once you know the row number, I can get any value of that row. Are you clear about this context? People have followed the context? Clear? Here I will repeat action function. What is the purpose of that action function? We use the action function. I'll come back to the point. Now basically my intent is to tell how to fetch the row number. This example is to basically concentrate on how to fetch the row number when you have multiple elements. How to refer to a particular element and get the value. Here I am going to use action function. What is the purpose of action function? Why you want to go for action function? I will go for action function. Why you want to go for action function? Listen to the format. Listen to the format. I am going with it. I have created a method. Understand the code thing. I got a class with a method. I'll make a simple example. I got a class with a method. Here I am creating a VF page. So we got it. Page block we got. Now generally, when any event occurs, what will happen? Let us say on this input text. On change. On change, what will happen? JavaScript will be called. Am I right? When event occurs, generally what is called? JavaScript. On click, JavaScript. On focus, JavaScript. On change, JavaScript. Am I right now? When an event occurs, what will be called? Script function will be called. Whenever an event occurs, JavaScript function will be called. Whenever an event occurs, JavaScript function will be called. But here, when an event occurs, I don't want to call it JavaScript. When an event occurs, I want to call it method from Apex class. Generally, when an event occurs, what will be called? It is going to call a function from the JavaScript. But when an event occurs, I don't want to call a function from the JavaScript. I want to call method from Apex class. How to call a method on event? We know that when you click on a button, it's going to call method. When you click on the link, method will be called. But now, from input text, when an event occurs, I want to call a method. On a component, when an event occurs, I want to call a method. How to call a method when an event occurs? To do this, we have action function. We have action function. Within the input component, open the input component, close the input component. Within this component, we are supposed to write action support. Action support. What is action support? Event. When this event occurs, call this method. So when an event occurs on the component, we want to call a method from Apex class. On a component, it may be any component. It's not an input text. It may be any component. On any component, when the event occurs, if you want to call a method from the Apex class, then we go for what? Action support. Open the component, close the component. Open the component, close the component. When you open and close, in between you define action support. So on this component, when this event occurs, call this method. Generally, when event occurs, script is called. But here, on any component, when an event occurs, I want to call a method. From Apex class. When an event occurs, if you want to call a method from the Apex class, then we go for action support. Where is that action support defined? Action support should be defined within the component. So the action support is only applied to only that element. Element in which you define the action support, only the element that will be applied. The action support is applied for only the element in which it is defined. Am I clear with this? People have followed? Right. Now, if I want to define action support for this, again I will define. Why? Because action support is applied only for one element. Even. So, whenever the event occurs on any one of these components, call the method from Apex class. When you call the method, it is going to print a result. You ready? Satish Mala, branch you are not getting any value. So when the event occurs, it's calling the method from Apex class, right? When the event occurs, if you want to call any method from the Apex class, what is the solution we have? Action support. Where is that action defined? Within the component. But what is the drawback of it? Action support should be defined. In both the cases, I am calling the same method. But I have defined multiple times. Because action support is applied to only one component. If you want to apply the functionality for 10 components, 10 times we have to define. Action support should be defined individually for every component. Then we are going for next one. Action function. What is an action function? Boss, you are calling very good. But before I call the method from Apex class, I want to learn some JavaScript. You're calling good. You're calling very good, but the problem is before you call the method from fh class, I want to do some logic. I want to apply some logic. I want to do some logic or I want to apply some validations. I want to apply some validations. Then I want to call the method. I don't want to call the method directly. I want to apply some validation rules. After applying the validation rules, I want to run it. So, what I need, when event occurs, I have to go to the script. I have to go to the script, implement the script, then I want to call the method. When event occurs, I want to go to the script, perform some validations. Once it is performed, then I want to call the function. Are you getting? So here action support, directly calling the method. But here action function, what I want to run the script. After running the script, I want to call the method. So what I'm doing here, look at this. Page. So I've done this. So what is happening? Was on change. Whenever the event occurs, what I'm calling? When the event occurs, I'm calling the JavaScript. In the JavaScript, I'm defining the document page from dot ID page from dot. What is the next one I give? Branch. Now, when event occurs, call the JavaScript. In the JavaScript, I'm going to read name and if name not equal to null and branch not equal to null. Then I want to call the method from fh. What I'm doing, I'm applying some logic in the script. I'm applying the logic. When event occurs, run the script, run the logic. If everything is perfect, then call the method. Action support is what? Directly call the method. Action function is what? When event occurs, call the JavaScript, run the logic in the JavaScript. If everything is perfect, then call the method. So how to define the action function? Fx action function name equal to I give some text action equal to what the method we are calling render this is our item. Here I am calling text. Go to the preview. Second one, enter the name. Now, when enter the name, script will be called. Now, name and branch, both of them are not equal to none. So what happened? Still called name and branch not equal to null. Right. Now, It is not qualified because the branch is blank. So when event occurs, went to the JavaScript, verified the name and branch are not equal to null or not equal to blank or not. As they are not equal to blank, right? So what is it? We are applying some validations there. Once the validations are perfect, then it is calling a method. So when event occurs, you want to do some basic groundwork on the scripting side. Once everything is perfect, then you want to call the method. But how many times I called action function? Only once. Action function is defined only once. The action function can be called from any script. Action function can be called from any script. And defined once, use many times. Now what is the advantage of action function? When event occurs, go to the script, perform the basic operations, then call the method. Action support is event occurs, then we call. How many times you have to define action support? Number of times depends upon how many elements on which you want to apply. Action support is applied for only one element. Right, Amma? People have followed this. People got the difference between action support and action function. Right? Now, look at this. Now come back to your example. What I have done in the first case. What is that? Now I am saying. Whenever the product name is changed, I am calling what? I am calling for. So get the row number. What we have to do? When the event occurs, first identify the row. Then send the row number to Apex class. Then call the method. So when event occurs, I call a script. From the script, I call action function. Right? Whenever you have business requirement that need to be implemented on the scripting side, then followed by server side, then I will go for what? Action function. Right? How to invoke a method from Apex class? Generally we invoke by using what? Button or link. Button or link. But generally by using what? Button or link. What if you want to invoke a method from an input text? What if you want to invoke a method from a checkbox? What if you want to invoke a method from quick list? Then I'm going to use what? Action support and action function. Action support and action function. Are you getting my point? Is that was clear? Is that was clear? I'll do one more example. Listen to the requirement. I hope you got my idea. What is the difference between action support and action function? Why we use it? Right, Amma? Got it? But this is very frequently used requirement, boss. The list of requirement. Do it. Practice. I'm going for a public list. Public. Action support example. Option support. Listen to the requirement carefully. Now I have created some options here. Now for the quick list, I'm going to set any one value. So what is the value? Either none, today or this week. Now I'm running a query. Public void. Here I'm ready. Public list of is equal to select. For the condition, if selected not equal to other than none, if you select any value, other than none, if you select any value, then I have to write that I wrote this function. I create a picklist field, select ID comma name from account where create a date equal to. Now what is the bug here? It should be a dynamic query. I'm giving is database code. Right. So I'm writing a query. So my query is whichever the value you have selected, based on the value, you are writing a query. Pick list, I am writing a query. Let us see this example in terms of Visual Force page. How do you get a pick list? Select list, size equal to 1, value equal to select options, value equal to option. Now listen to the requirement carefully. I got the pick list in this format. Now when I selected this, I want to get the list of record. When you want to get the list of record, either I have to use button here, right? If you want to call a method from fx class, what should I do? Create a button or a link. When I click on the button, the method will be called. When I click on the link, button will be called. But when the method should be called for me, whenever I change the value. Whenever I change the value, automatically what happens? It has to go to the fx class method, run the query, get the data. When my method should run? Not by clicking button, not by clicking link, by changing the value. Whenever I change the value in the pick list, automatically a method should be called. So how to call? So what is the event you are performing? On change. When on change occurs in the pick list, call the method. Other than button and link, we have seen all the examples with respect to what? Buttons and links. Buttons and links. Other than button and link, if you want to call a method from fx class, how do you call it? From VF page, I want to call a method from fx class, how do you call it? If I don't have a button, if I don't have a link, how do you call it? It is possible by using what? Action support or action function. Action support or action function. Action function is required when you want to perform any client-side operation, then followed by method call. Action support is required when you want to call the method directly. In this case, what I want to do? Do I need to write any scripting on the client side? What is my requirement? When I change the value, directly call. No client side requirement is there. Straight away, if you want to call the method. If you want to call a method straight away, how do you call it? We're going to define here methods, support, event. Yeah, we are giving it. Effects. Effects. From rendered display this only when About table. What do you want to display? This is how you done. What happened? Whenever the value in the pick list is modified, on change action, whenever the value in the pick list is modified, automatically call a method called get data. What is the method I do? Automatically call a method called. Whenever the value in the pick list is modified, automatically call the method called show re-render 1. What is the re-render 1? Re-render 1. There are no values. Line number 15, 1. Go to line number 15. There are no values. Why there are no values? Because we are not assigning any memory to it. Public. Obviously, condition also should be changed here. What is the condition? Should not be. Go back now. What is it? Unexpected token. Line number 20. Too many calls. What is select ID comma name phone from where it created it equal is missing. No records are there, so let me create one record. This record. This week. Instead of this week, I'll make it last week. I will make it as last week also. I'm adding multiple options. Right? Whenever the event is occurring, automatically it is invoking a method. Automatically it is invoking a method. I hope I'm clear with this format. Right? So, generally all the examples what we done is with respect to the method. When you click on the button, we call the method. When you click on the link, we call the method. Other than the buttons, if you want to invoke a method from the Apex class, then it is an event. When event occurs on the component, I want to call a method from the Apex class, then I will go for action support or action function. I hope I am clear with this format. You will go to that format. Right, boss? Next. We have next one called action puller. What is an action puller? When you want the same action to be repeated Recursively after given time, after every 10 seconds, action should be performed. After every 20 seconds, the action should be performed. After every 1 minute, the action should be performed. When you want some action to be performed automatically after a given time, then we go for what? Action puller. When you want, generally called daemon thread. What is the daemon thread? It will be running at the backend, right? Similarly, here I want some action to be performed by the system automatically at the backend after a given amount of time. Then we go for action puller. Let me give you a basic example. Now I have public void. Simple example. Whenever you call, count will be incremented by 1. Whenever you are calling, the count is incremented by 1. If you call this method, count is incremented by 1. A simple example. Action function. Action puller. Then, what is the action you want to call? What is the action I give? Call. You have interval. Action puller, call action after every 10 seconds. Call action after every 10 seconds. You are given action puller and it's specified. Call the method call, run the method call after every 10 seconds. So what is happening? The count is incremented. So what is it? After every 10 seconds, automatically the function is going to call. The function is going to be called action puller. Perform the action. Perform the action after every given interval of time. Interval toward 10 seconds. After every 10 seconds, the method will be called. When you want some action to be recursively executed after a given interval of time, then we go for action puller. Then we go for action puller. I hope you are clear. Action support, action function, action puller. Even in NPU, this is a very commonly asked question. If someone, okay, they want to ask any questions about the Visual Force page, then only 5 choices they have. One is difference between page block table, data list repeat. Second one is difference between your action support, action region, action puller, action region. Third one, they'll ask standard controller and controller extension. Standard controller and extension. Generally, these are the only questions which can be posed on the Visual Force. Right, box? I hope I'm clear with this format. Three topics are clear for everyone. Action support, action function, action puller. Are you clear about this format? Clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? That's all from my end. We'll continue the next session. So tomorrow we're going to discuss about remote action and how to write a SQL queries and DML from Javascript. Now, right now what we are doing? We are writing a SQL queries and DML within the MX class. We are writing a class, in the class we are writing a query and method. We don't want to write a queries and emails within a FX class directly within the Visual Force page using the scripting. We want to write DMLs and software. So how to perform a DMLs and software using the scripting that we'll see tomorrow. Right. Any further queries to be read? And Sunday we'll have a long session. Saturday we'll have a long session. Saturday we'll have a long session. Probably 7:30 to 10 will be taking. Right. Saturday we'll be having a long session. Okay. Probably Saturday I'll be coding. First I'll start with the deployments. Deploying using Eclipse. Workbench. First I'll start with the Eclipse. Change set, workbench, and if time permits, I'll tell you team synchronization. How do you sync the team? Okay, you can make a local repository and server-side repository if needed. So if anybody want to go for version controlling, like how they maintain server-side repository and client-side repository, you see that. Okay. Then followed by Sunday, also we'll have a session. We'll take jQuery. Sunday I'm going to finish off the jQuery. Right. Scripting and jQuery will be closed by Sunday. Right. Also.